Without wasting any more time, please allow me to invite the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Shettima, GCON, who is here representing His Excellency Bola Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Sit down, please.
Your Excellency, our leader, the former President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, I was quite apprehensive because our flight was delayed. And he left the army, but the army discipline did not leave him. So I was afraid that he will be here by 10 o'clock and be waiting for us. Our apologies. It was nature. It was a rainstorm that stopped us from coming earlier. Our host and chairman, Northwest Governors Forum, His Excellency the Governor of Katsina State, Malam Diko Umar Radda, Your Excellencies, the Governors of Zamfara and Jigawa States, and the Deputy Governors of Kebbi, Sokoto, Kaduna, and Katsina States. And of course, the representative of the Governor of Kano State. I want to use Senator Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar as my point of reference to recognize and appreciate all members of the National Assembly present here. I want to use the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Baduru Abubakar, to appreciate and recognize all my colleagues in the Federal Executive Council present here. Our two elder statesmen, Barrister Ibrahim Shehu Shema and Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari, members of the Diplomatic Corps. I want to use my very good friend, Mohammed Malik Pal, Assistant Secretary General and the head of the UN systems in Nigeria, to recognize and appreciate members of the Diplomatic Corps present here. And he who pays the piper dictates the tune. My sister, we should also take pictures with members of the Diplomatic Corps present here. I want to use the Inspector General of Police, the DGNIA, and the Comptroller General of the Civil Defense to recognize and appreciate all members of the security and paramilitary forces present here. Our father, who is a permanent fixture in all developmental issues in this country, His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto. I want to use him as my point of reference to recognize and appreciate all our royal fathers present here. And to the Deputy Governor of Sokoto, I have a simple message for you. Yes, the Sultan is the Sultan of Sokoto, but he is much more than that. He represents an idea. He's an institution that all of us in this country need to jealously guard, protect, promote, preserve, and project for the good of our nation. Elder statesmen, former ministers, senior government officials, captains of industry, members of the Fourth SL of the Rim, sons and daughters of the Northwest, honored guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. There's a profound reason the north of Nigeria is often perceived as one unified people. This perception extends past your brothers and sisters across the Niger and reaches far outside the shores of the nation. This unity is deeply rooted in a culture and born of shared interests and common pursuits. Today, our presence here is a communal gathering to address the afflictions that have threatened the stability and unity of this great house. I am honored to join you in reflecting on our path to extinguishing the fires we were elected to put out. Beyond the economic rationale that drove the amalgamation of the northern and southern parts of Nigeria, the formation of our great nation was inspired by the need for mutual protection. But I ask, How can we achieve this sacred objective if one part is afflicted? We have long established that whatever else any part of this federation destabilizes the other. So the issue of national security in the Northwest is not a sectional agenda. We promise to make Nigeria safer, and this aim has been our topmost priority since we came to office over a year ago. We realize that achieving the peace we seek necessitates addressing the historical injustices that have torn communities apart. We must also reverse the institutional priorities governing security and the economic dysfunctions that create vulnerabilities to crime. We must also counter the ideological mischief that has pervaded the discourse of peace and security in the region. Your Excellencies, your Royal Fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the solution we seek is a region where every trait is safe, where every group is at peace, and where the policing and military presence of the state is optimal. This disintegration from cycles of clashes between primaries and herders has ruptured the ideas of oneness upon which the North revolved. This was followed by a regime of cattle rustling that set herders on a path of violence. Over the past decades, we have seen how these land use disputes drove the farmer-herder conflicts as climate change diminished our arable land and water resources, as the capacity of our security forces was overwhelmed, as unauthorized arms proliferated conflict zones, as corruption undermined our quest for solutions, and as criminal and insurgent elements exploited the complexity of our crisis to cross into our borders. What we are witnessing across the North is an explosion of these damaged relationships, and we have come to say, enough is enough. Our first decision was to task our brothers from the Northwest and the Northeast with the defense and security of this region. Who else can better understand the complexity of the crisis of the region than the people themselves? This has been a turning point, and I am proud to share that the strategies we have employed have begun to provide redemption. We are not slowing down until we achieve our aim. Our military forces, through various operations such as Operation Hiding Cave and Operation Safe Haven, have made true promise to the nation by targeting insurgent groups like Boko Haram and bandits who have held us to ransom for too long. Through enhanced border security and intelligence capabilities, we have disrupted and dismantled criminal networks. Each of you here is aware of the high-profile figureheads of these groups neutralized by our forces, and I am here to share with you that this is just the beginning. Our meetings over the past few months have shown our readiness for a paradigm shift in achieving peace in northern Nigeria. We have established the need for combining military interventions with police reform, local policing enhancement, peace-building programs, dialogue promotion, and educational campaigns to address the underlying causes of conflict. We have also identified a roadmap that includes integrating military, political, and socio-economic strategies, enhancing cross-border cooperation, investing in youth empowerment and education, strengthening local institutions, promoting inclusive dialogue, prioritizing prevention and resilience building measures, and engaging regional neighbors for support. To build pragmatic solutions to our security compromises, we are strengthening collaborations among the services and other security agencies to ensure a unified approach. We are adhering to guidelines such as standard operating procedures and rules of engagement, and coordinating joint training exercises, interagency cooperation, communication, and information sharing. This ethical sensitivity to the operations of our forces and unity amongst us have made a difference. They have led to the surrendering of combatants as we continue to eliminate and capture those who have undermined the sovereignty of this great nation. The kinetic and non-kinetic interventions we have pursued are designed to build the perimeter for our security infrastructure to the point that every child goes to school and returns home safely. Every person who sets out on a trip arrives at their destination securely. Every trader who goes to the market conducts their transactions without fear. And every farmer plants seeds and harvests their produce in secure environments. We cannot achieve this unless we come together. One of the non-kinetic interventions we have rolled out is the Fulako Resettlement Initiative. We believe it is a timely solution to address some of the root causes of disputes and insecurity in the Northwest. Our choice of Sokoto, Kebbi, Katsina, Zamfara, and Kaduna states, and by including Benue and Niger State for inclusivity for the pilot phase, is strategically planned to create positive nationwide transformations. The comprehensive plan includes building residencies, roads, schools, and essential facilities, fulfilling our pledge to the nation. This effort symbolizes our commitment to sustainable development and a unified, peaceful, and prosperous Nigeria, transforming our diversity into strength. The President had approved, and we have secured 51 billion naira in our custody. We'll start rolling out the programs in the next couple of weeks. And what affects one affects all of us. The Borno State government has equally donated 5 center pivot irrigation equipment and 100 units of Kayan educational aids to assist us in addressing the root causes of our challenges in the Northwest. It's sad, it's disheartening that people that are hitherto one are getting divided. Su waye ne Hausawa? Ai lalacecen Fulani da bari-bari su ne Hausawan ai. Aka waye gari yanzu wai Hausa da Fulani suna fada. It's so sad. It's so disheartening. We have to unite as a family to address our common causes. Kaga su babana su ne ai Hausawan. Su babanmu su ne ai Hausawan. Hab ɗin shi babarbare, hab ɗin shi Fulani, shi kuma Bahaushe ne. Today, I believe we are going to continue comparing our ideas and thoughts to not only review our strategies and improve upon them, to make the states in the Northwest stable and peaceful parts of the nation, but to assure ourselves that we cannot achieve the triumph we desire without any part of the nation being secure. The glories of this nation are critical to the stability of the nation, and each of us here has a role to play, beginning with acknowledging that our destiny is tied together. I want to thank Mr. Malik Pal for identifying the fact that the trajectory of global growth is facing Africa. And as attested to by my sister, Mrs. Elsie Atapwa, wherever Nigeria goes, that's where Africa goes. If Nigeria fails, Africa has failed. 1 out of every 4 black men, at the risk of sounding repetitive, is a Nigerian. And by 2050, one will surpass the United States and be the 3rd most populous nation on earth. 1 out of every 3 black men is a Nigerian. And by the end of the century, when all of us here have become tenants in the home of the earthworms, Nigeria will be the most populous nation on earth, and 1 out of every 2 black men will be a Nigerian. We have to make this country work. We have to unite as a people, and I wish to call on all of us, irrespective of differences in political affiliations, religious persuasions, tribal or sectional backgrounds. What binds us together supersedes whatever that divides us. I have seen my very good friend, Chukwumerije, over there. Thank you, and God bless us all.